My mother, 48F, wants to marry a guy my age, 22M.
The only way out is for you to marry this man's mom and insist he calls you dad. Then you can be your mom's father-in-law and demand she calls you dad too. Sorry, but I don't make the rules. She insists that I have to treat him like my dad and I have to listen to him the same way I listen to my biological dad. Like what the fuck? I'm with you, dude, that part is fucking crazy. Well, the whole thing is pretty crazy, but that last bit is over the top. I strongly recommend you do your absolute best to just stay neutral and try to ignore it until you can move out. As everyone else has said, yeah, this is obviously going to be a huge shitshow, but your mom is ostensibly an adult and she's going to do what she wants to do. This is terrible, terrible advice. His mother is clearly vulnerable and clearly an idiot thinking she can enforce rules from a child. Op needs to sort this out by confronting this child and stopping him taking advantage of his mother. Your mom is being a fool and this will end badly for her. But she's an adult responsible for her own decisions. You absolutely do not have to treat this guy like your dad. You are an adult, you can treat him as you see fit. Regardless of all that, you'll just have to bear it until you find a means to move out. That doesn't mean you have to approve of it, or act like you like it, you'll just have to let it roll off your back. It sucks, but it's your mom's life. Remove yourself from the situation as much as possible. It's her relationship, you don't need to be involved in it. What you do is be ultra nice to the guy and hang out with him and treat him like a friend. Invite him to check out your console, play some games with you, shoot the shit, or whatever. It'll piss her off because she's obviously trying to replace the idea of someone who is a father figure in the household while stroking her own very damaged and fragile ego regarding her attractiveness. I also doubt he specifically wants to be made a father figure to a guy his age. He probably is just a weird super lonely fetishist or is after money. Either way, he'd probably go along with it if you treated him like a bro, which would shock her out of her ability to reject the truth. Of course, if his real fetish is being treated as a father by a guy his own age, all bets are off, but I truly doubt this is it. The problem here is the expectation that he'll be a father figure to you, which is clearly ridiculous. My sister's husband is only 3 years older than her eldest son. Sister and bro-in-law have been married for over 20 years now. However, the relationship between husband and sister's son is as if they're two friends of a similar age. It's worked out fine for them, because they were sensible. You need to be clear to your mother that you have no interest in pretending that this man is going to be a new dad, because he can never be that. My husband's mother is married to a man my husband's age. He was in his 40s when they met. He makes her happy and he's a good guy. But we don't even refer to him as my husband's stepfather, he's just my husband's mother's husband. There is no way on God's green earth he could possibly act like he had authority over my husband. You are an adult. Even if your mom married a guy of a more appropriate age, you could not be expected to treat him as a father figure. Be polite but aloof, and make a plan to move out as soon as possible. My dad dates exclusively Ukrainian women in their 20s. Welcome to the club. Just be glad that you probably won't have any new siblings popping up. Gently tell her you're not calling him dad or treating him like your father, but out of love for her you will welcome him to the family and treat him with respect. Parents in the midst of a midlife crisis don't listen to their kids, trust me, I know. Love them for who they are and don't hate them for what they are not. Don't try to raise them, just be glad they're done raising you. If it all goes south, you will have preserved your relationship. You can consider what options you have to move out. Your dad, roommates, living with a friend's family, asking your school about what housing options there are or if there are sublets available. Lots of options. There's a potential future where you can respect your mom's choices and her relationship, but it's going to be really, really hard to if you're living there and have to be the child of the same age as your mother's lover. Especially as the beginning of relationships typically have more frequent sex. Your mom has made it clear she doesn't see you as an adult. The foundation already laid means you're going to be in for a high conflict situation. You just gotta get out of there. Just change the sexes round. My father married someone the same age as me after my parents divorced. No one batted an eyelid. I just left home, went to uni. Yeah, op needs to realize that it's stay and deal or leave. Those are the only options. I lived with my dad's wife, a woman my sister's age, for 3 months before I literally started sleeping in my car and on friends' couches when I wasn't at school. Luckily, university has buildings open 24 hours and you can shower and store toiletries and the gym. Being homeless in college was easy compared to living with my 20-year-old stepmom, who hated me, an insane dad. She insists that I have to treat him like my dad. No way. You're an adult and don't have to do squat. Make sure your mom protects her assets and has a prenup. That's all Junior Grandpa wants is $. Just to say on this have to treat him like your dad, that's weird regardless of his age. My mom remarried this year to a guy she didn't start dating until I'd graduated uni. He's my mom's husband to me, not my stepdad, and definitely not being treated like my actual dad. My parents split when I was 10 and, even when I was a kid, it was made clear I already had 2 parents. I obviously had to respect any partners as an adult in the household, but I was not expected to see them as a parent. Start calling him dad, ask him for help with your most complicated schoolwork, ask for lifts everywhere and money. Always ask him for money. She wants you to see him as a father figure. Show him how hellish that can be. My mother-in-law is shacked up with a guy my husband's age, late 40s, and his kids who are a similar age to ours. She's already been married 3 times and we are sick of her shit. We're having nothing to do with him unless he starts buying my husband train sets and taking him awkwardly to the zoo like all the other dads and boyfriends. Do it, but make it so fucking uncomfortable. Like when he walks in, "Are you my new daddy? Moom, I want daddy to put me to bed." If I was him, I'd be so fucking skeeved out. Totally go along with it. Chances are, he's not gonna be too happy when you actually call him daddy and ask for his opinion all the time. Make sure you ask your hottest friends to come in and pretend they are your GF and talk a lot about the cool kid stuff you are doing and how awesome it will be to raise a young family together, buy your first home together, and just plain be young together. And make sure to befriend his mom and invite her for family gatherings. Your mom and her could bond over giving birth around the same time and how you two were babies. This whole thing is strange enough. Really, you have no choice in who she marries. You really need to talk to her as an adult about treating him like a dad, though. Try to talk to her calmly and logically. Although she clearly lacks any logic as she expects you to treat someone your age as your dad. But stay calm when you discuss it. Explain she clearly thinks people your age are mature adults, as she wants to marry someone your age. Tell her you will accept him as her husband but not as a father figure. Have you sat down and calmly discussed why you will not treat him like a dad? Well, I'd say if she really wants to marry this guy and he isn't a douchebag and is genuinely in love with her, then try to be supportive of her marriage to him. As for treating him like your biological dad, that's absolute bullshit. Simply put, he's just not your biological dad, he didn't raise you, and you're an adult at this point anyway. Maybe you could speak to him and just let him know that you're happy for them and all, but if he expects you to treat him as a father like your mom wants, that won't happen. Surely he'll be more understanding given you're the same age and will hopefully respect your wishes. Your mom is an adult and can do with her life as she pleases. You are also an adult and you can either accept it or not. You don't need to like it or him, but you have no say in the matter. Only in the way you decide to live with the situation and him. If it bothers you too much to live with him, you can move out, or if you decide to live with them, then that's your choice and behave accordingly. Of course, it's probably annoying as hell, but that's just life sometimes. If she had not asked you to treat him as an authority similar to your father, I could understand maybe looking at the situation differently, in that if he made her happy, perhaps that's a good thing. But asking you to obey someone your own age, that's a bit much. I could see why anyone in this situation would be pissed off. She insists that I have to treat him like my dad and I have to listen to him the same way I listen to my biological dad. Like what the fuck? Ultimately she can marry who she wants, but surely she has to realize this is never going to happen. How is your mom's temperament? I would point blank tell my mom that is never going to happen, and if she wants you to have any positive relationship at all with this new guy, to never bring that up or try to force it ever again. The treat him like your dad thing is absurd. You're a grown man, he won't be providing you with any care, so you absolutely do not have to treat him like your father. You'll just have to ride it out until you can move, my guy. With COVID, there's a chance they won't be able to get married very quickly, so maybe you can move out before that happens? My grandfather had an affair with and later married someone who was closer in age to my mum than to him when my mum was a similar age to you. My mum never referred to her as her stepmother until after my grandfather died, and that was only because she became the next of kin, so when she was at the doctor's my mum would have to explain their relationship. But she used to get annoyed when people called her my mum's mother, and used to always make the point of correcting it. I think because the lady didn't have children of her own, people just assumed my mum was her daughter because she was organizing most of her care, organized her funeral when she died, etc. My mum always felt like her father had burdened her with this much younger woman because obviously the age gap meant he died many years before she did. We always called her Auntie when we were children because my mum was quite adamant that she wasn't to be named as a grandparent as it would be too upsetting for my actual grandmother. Don't treat him as a father. Maybe one day you two will get along and respect each other, but that's about the most your mum should reasonably hope for. I hope you can find some common ground just so it's not too difficult for you all, but he needs to respect that you're a guy the same age as him and neither of you really has seniority. She insists that I have to treat him like my dad, lol, just don't. What's he gonna do if you don't? It would feel awkward for him as well, obviously. Either way, marrying after 1 year of divorce and not even half a year of knowing each other is a way to ensure a second divorce very soon. And I'm not gonna even start about the huge age gap and influence your mother holds over him. She is most likely his superior at the workplace, with as a whole can of wrong as well. I'm not sure who is acting less their age, your infatuated mom or her half-shirt boyfriend. Those sound like some annoying times ahead of you, I'm sorry. He told her to tell me to go to bed early, Don't even get in their game, is what strikes me as important. Tell the guy to back off and to treat you like a guy his age. Tell your mom it's not happening and you're moving out ASAP, which you probably already have. Don't be provoked or distracted from your plans for your own future or as little as possible. Treat them as annoying roommates and maybe find strategies where to vent, so you're not part of any misplaced parent-child dynamic. Like, we're all here, for what it's worth. She cannot force you to treat him like a father. The most you can do is show respect and keep your distance from their stable marriage. The least you can do is give warnings to your mom when you see something out of place is happening, and if she doesn't listen, then just try and live your life as far away from them as possible. Not stop talking to them, but maybe creating new boundaries. Seems hard since you share a house. Last I can say is best of luck. That is not going to be easy. Your mom should be seeing a therapist since her divorce with your biological dad may have destroyed her. From what I've read on the post, she seems to listen to whatever the guy says. Is he manipulating her because she's weak mentally? You should talk to your mom about that, and yeah, even though he's your age, if he doesn't deserve the respect because he's on his high horse with you, act however you want. You're his age anyways, lol. What 22 years old wants to be with a 48 years old whose son is the same age? Does he have debt to something and hoping sugar mummy will pay it off? Usually I'm an advocate for love overcome age, but this is a bit strange considering she is freshly divorced and clearly derailing a little, and this man could be taking advantage of her. Did dad get with someone much younger too? Perhaps this is a tit for tat thing, revenge thing. Have you met the guy? Is he a jerk? Maybe you should talk to him privately. How the hell can he demand from you to go to bed at 12, to change your career, and to be okay with calling him dad basically? I'm sorry that you're going through this, and I hope this weird situation will be ruled out soon. Since he is your age, you might have experience handling people your age, which would make it easier to put someone in his place if he's overstepping. Forget that he dates your mom for a second and think as if it's just a guy who is your age, who happened to be annoying you, thinking just because he is with someone who has an authority over you. How would you put someone in his place if he were to do that to you as a third person? Also, you don't have to compromise on anything just because an asshole is trying to make your decisions for you. Best way about is talking to your mom and explaining her. If you feel like she is being unreasonable and non-responsive to your opinions, then tell her that you cannot accept him or his opinions and it doesn't matter to you. Have a backup, a friend's place or a relative's in case the argument gets bad. Be stubborn, and be logical in your arguments. I hope it all works for your op. That is the worst thing I ever heard. I think it would have driven me crazy if something like that would have happened to me. I moved to my out from home early, because I couldn't stand it with my mother anymore. Nowadays things are fine between us again. Don't you have a friend or someone else you could stay with? If I was you, I'd talk to my mother and tell her that you are not going to watch this any longer and that she should get some help, because it really sounds like she needs to get some. Don't let them rule your life. I mean, you are 22 and I am sure you would be able to stand on your own feet. You can't stop her. Let her do what she wants. Be polite to him but mind your own business and avoid them like the plague. Eventually she'll get a clue, hopefully. Edit. Ooh. Other option. Lean into it. Go to him constantly for help on trivial shit. Dunno how to use a screwdriver? Help. Can't open this jar? Help. Forgot how to work the dryer? Help. You get me. Oh, and give him the best daddy nickname you can. Daddy-o? Papa? Pa? Yell that last one when you need him. PAWWWW. Can you help me? Dude, this could be epic. Record some of it. The world wants to see it. Okay, I want to see it. Lol. My stepdad, in his late 40s, married a woman just 1 year older than I am, early 20s, a few years ago. At first it was hella strange and sometimes it still is, but I got used to it. I never have to treat her like a mother though, and I never would do that. They are an amazing couple and very happy together, so who am I to judge? I really think that your mom wanting to force you to act like the guy your age as your new dad is absolutely mad, though. I think you should try talking to your mom again in a very calm way. Tell her you are more than happy for her that she found someone, tell her that you love her and tell her that a guy your age won't be your new stepfather. You can say that you will try to accept him into the family, but that the fact that he is your age just doesn't work out when it comes to see him as a father figure. You have a father. The fact that your parents are divorced doesn't change that. You are an adult and thus don't need a new father in your life. And I really think that you should try to be nice to the new guy. Maybe he is a good guy after all. So try to be open-minded on Sunday during the dinner. Maybe he doesn't even want to be your new dad. Known women like your mom, she is degrading herself because she feels she isn't worth anything, etc. All the blah blah self-esteem stuff. Then when it all goes sideways, as it always does, she will look for sympathy, saying I have no idea what happened, only you'll have had to deal with a same-age daddy while she does her thing that isn't her fault, no matter how mentally damaging it might be to her child. Gross. Call him daddy and daddy only. Example, make me daddy. Sorry daddy, have I been bad? Do I need to be punished? Daddy's in charge throwing kisses. 3. What's he gonna do? Ground you. I feel kinda bad because it's mostly your mom's fault. Edit. 4. Demand he starts paying for your stuff. That's what parents do after all, isn't it? She insists that I have to treat him like my dad and I have to listen to him the same way I listen to my biological dad. Like what the fuck? I honestly would have laughed in her face at this point. She can't be serious. So your mom's word for grooming is guidance. Call her bluff. When he comes over, call him daddy and give him your Christmas list. I laughed far too hard at the prospect horror of call him daddy, LMAO. A nice affirmation that I'm happily hell-bound. Disclaimer. I do agree that the expectation of him being a parental role is very weird and unreasonable, but I seem to be a minority here when I say I see no problem with the age difference. Like, I don't think it's fair for folks who are in relationships with big age gaps to say they're being groomed. I was 22 when I met my last partner, 43. Op's mom's boyfriend is 22. The mom and him can do whatever they want. Play fully into it. When he turns up, yell, daddy, and give him a huge hug around the middle. Make him teach you how to ride a bike, how to shave, how to talk to girls. Go the whole hog and make it even more ridiculous than they are asking. So what? They can do as they please, although I think it's weird she'd want to marry someone whose brain isn't even fully developed. You obviously don't have to treat him like your dad though. That's a silly ASF thing to ask of you. His parents actually allows it? The marriage I mean. Tell them you want to see Granny. Tears of joy I mean they probably don't want it either. I mean his parents should see how he is treating you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And if you are new, subscribe and click on the bell icon.